Welcome back to Authentically Peculiar with Marcia. I'm so elated to once again not having a guest, but bringing some things to you that I believe are very important to tap into. There'll be some future guests coming along that's going to talk about a plethora of subjects. But today, I want us to talk about unmasking the mirror. Oftentimes, we have forgotten what integrity and self awareness is and how you grabbing hold to that level of integrity and self awareness can change everything about your life. It could cause you to get back into a space of owning your truth, knowing who you are, and living authentically. So, what happens when the person you present to the world isn't the person on the inside? Why is it that it's not matching? Why are your words different to the world or your presentation different to the world than who you are within yourself? Why are you living in spaces of mask, for lack of a better word, trying to present at a space of perfection without taking on true accountability of how you feel? Well, let's talk a little bit about it. What is integrity? Integrity goes beyond just doing the right thing. It's a heart set. It's an inner alignment of truth. It is accountability and responsibility, loyal to yourself and your words. Self-awareness is being able to hold a mirror up to your face and say, here's my truth. Understanding your feelings, your motives, why you react to certain situations, why you abstain for certain situations, and how are you actually living. Oftentimes, integrity comes into a space where you don't really trust situations or circumstances because there have been what I like to call micro betrayals. Well, what are micro betrayals? It's those little incidents where people have created a harm. They've made statements that have clung to your body or cling to your body or to your mind that repeated over and over, questioning your value, questioning your abilities and capabilities. Those micro betrayals are where you put trust in a situation or a circumstance or a person and it came back very flawed. People have a tendency to hold on to those flawed betrayals as if it's the key to your future, and it's not. Betrayals are a part of humanism, unfortunately, when people don't live in a space where they are truthful to who they are. When they are not loyal to themselves, how can they be loyal to you? How can they honor your presence when they don't honor themselves? How can you posture a role and a space for someone who doesn't know what self awareness is? They don't know what integrity is. A lot of times people are, or they lack self awareness because of the discomfort of truth. They don't want to have to confront the things that they've been denying, their words, their actions, their belief systems. They often move in spaces where they question their own right, their own ability, because they've shown up at a dishonest place for themselves and they mask it. So when you show up in a space and you're supposed to be self aware, you're literally telling people that I'm not true. Here's the truth. A person that is in tune to their own self awareness can easily pick up to your untruths, and then they become intolerable of your lack of integrity. But integrity has to begin within yourself. Why aren't you true to yourself? Why aren't you confronting those behaviors and those mindsets that you know aren't right? They don't represent who you are. Why don't you move into a space of really understanding all of your truth? You have to ask yourself those questions. What are you afraid of confronting? What are you afraid of? Do you have fear of being alone? Do you have fear of being rejected? Do you have fear of being abandoned? What is it? What is it about this place of integrity? Or even better yet, what's your definition of integrity? What's your definition of loyal? How often do you stand in the mirror and make yourself aware of your truth? Being in that space where you are more loyal to other people than you are to yourself. Why is that okay? What about integrity fatigue? You know, the people pleasing, where you're always up and your mask is always on so that people never question you and you don't have to have that fear of rejection because you're the party person. You're the one that everybody can count on, but on the inside, you're burning out. Your body is shutting down. Your body is saying, I don't want to do this. I don't want to go, but I got to go because if I don't go, they're going to be mad at me. Those are the conversations that you have when you are in a space of people pleasing, always trying to take into account everybody else and dishonoring yourself. How do you align things, right? For yourself, how do you posture yourself in a place where you're valuable, where you are the one who has the final voice for you, where your narrative is associated with your ask, with your task, with your movement, with your process? Why do you dishonor yourself in a space of not being self-aware? What do you actually know about yourself? Do you know the things that make you tick? Do you know the things that upset you? Do you know the things, for the lack of a better word, um, do you know the things that can guide you to your next space of integrity? Do you know the things that you absolutely dislike and that you keep accepting? If you don't, then you're not self-aware. You're not in tune to the person that you are. You're not at a space where you can trust you with you because your values are not depicted. You don't have a voice that resonates within you about being self-aware and owning what your truth is. It's so vitally important for you to understand that there's an alignment. I know a lot of people talk about the chakras aligning, but your inner self should be aligning with who you are. It should represent you at all times. You can't live in integrity if you're lying to yourself. You can't show up whole when you're fragmenting the parts of you that need to be present as a manner of survival. You can't live in the truth of survival if you're not able to be self-aware. And you can't call peace peace if you are not in a space of owning your integrity or owning your self-awareness. Self-awareness can be very uncomfortable because it makes you confront the part of you that you've lied dormant because you wanted other people to like you more. You wanted people to be around you. You tolerate relationships that aren't healthy for you. You tolerate situations that have broken you down. You no longer value your own opinion and others don't value it either. You feel guilty for wanting to say no. You feel guilty for needing to say no and still going. Your lack of consciousness about your awareness without actions means that you're just sitting back surveilling the land by not living the truth. You know what's really wrong with just keep watching your life pass by while others take advantage of it? The part that's really, really wrong is that you're not living. You're just existing. You disconnected from you by not living your truth. And that's what you deserve. You betray yourself, talking about those micro betrayals again, you betray yourself every time you say yes when you want to say no. You smile when stuff isn't funny. I used to say a lot of times, this old school song would say, and I can't remember who said it, and it may have been a comedy routine, but it said, I don't sing when there's no song. I don't dance when there's no music. And I definitely don't smile when there's nothing funny. I learned very early in my life to stop shucking and jiving for folks, because there was no win in it. All it was room to manipulate the person that you are and the person that you desire to be. Every micro betrayal that you allow chips away from your existence. It falls apart from who you really are, and it declines to respect the person that you desire to become. So you have to decide for yourself that that's not what you want. You want to be in a space where you are self-aware and live in integrity and in loyalty. One of the things that you want to do, or what I'm going to challenge you to do, is ask yourself the question, where am I misaligned in my truth? Where am I off balance? Where is the mask and what is it hiding from my truth? Why am I not giving myself permission to live in a space of integrity and loyalty to myself? When was the last time I even looked at the boundaries I set for myself to be in truth, to understand my integrity? Am I doing things, am I causing harm to myself by accepting certain situations that aren't healthy for me? Putting myself in financial bondage or mental bondage or spiritual bondage because I want people to say, oh, yay, that's you. No, check in with your boundaries. Find out where you are with your truth. And I know that this is a conversation that can get really, really heavy, because as you're engaging in this journey of walking in integrity and being at a space of living in that process, take a deep breath. Reveal what your truth is. Understand that living in your truth is a gift that you deserve for yourself. Being mindful that you are empowered. Being mindful that your past doesn't dictate your present unless your past is ill-repaired. Living in your truth helps you to really gravitate towards being free, towards dumping off things that no longer serve you. Integrity isn't about being perfect. It's about being real with yourself. Every time you betray yourself to please someone else, you lose a piece of your peace. If your mouth says yes, but your heart says no, that's not integrity. That's survival. And we're not here just to survive. We're here to be authentic. You need to desire to be unapologetically you in everything that you do. You need to recognize for yourself that when you open your mouth, the words that you come out will command attention and live in truth. Living in survival mode is tiring. It's intoxicating. It's addictive because you get a high off of the survival and not living. You're disowning your ability to live. You're redirecting your need to be present in your own life. You're expecting people to show up for you in a manner that they don't show up for themselves because they don't have any integrity or self-awareness either. And those that do, that require boundaries to be honored, you all shun them because they have said no when you wanted them to say yes. They have put themselves in a position to make them first. And people get angry when folks decide to make themselves first. You need to get angry. You may need to ask them about their technique. When you're unmasking your truth and unmasking the lies that you've been telling yourself, and you're moving into spaces of integrity and owning who you are, peace needs to be your guide. What is giving me peace in the decision that I'm making right now? How am I honoring myself? Is my mask on? Is it off? If it's on, why? If it's off and you're contemplating putting it on, why? We as a human race need to take the mask off. The mask being on is a direct reflection of how our government is operating right now. There are a lot of masks that are on because they have more fear than integrity. If you are operating in fear versus integrity, you've already lost what your soul is, because you're going to go against the grain of everything that you know because of a mask that's probably on too tight and filled with a lot of untruths. In order for you to put yourself in a place to start living in truth, you want to give yourself permission, one, to understand what is my truth, what is my integrity, what is my loyalty. That is what you want to begin to operate in. That is how you want to begin operating. Starting there, confronting what's true for you, confronting the space that you're in, owning that space, and being able to love who you are in all things, it matters. It matters because you matter. Your integrity, your loyalty, your ability to be self-aware matters. The only time it doesn't matter is when other people want to use your integrity or lack thereof to manipulate you for their own good. Aren't you tired of being the puppet? The one with no power, no control, the inability to be able to say, this is where I am, this is what I'm doing, and how I'm doing it? Don't you want to be able to stand up and have a voice in your life that directly represents you? Do you want to continue to walk around with a lie? Here's what I'll tell you about walking around with a lack of integrity. It will show back up in your body. It will show back up through anxiety and depression. It shows back up with physical ailments such as continuous headaches or migraines, heart difficulties, diabetes, high blood pressure, gastric intestinal issues, improper decision making. All of those things can show up. Those are the things that you should be concerned about. What is showing up when I don't have integrity? Am I having difficulty sleeping? What is going on with me and why? It's vital for you to check in with yourself. Integrity and loyalty are two main focuses that you really need to grab hold to and operate in as you are leaving survival mode to living mode. The one thing you need to begin to share with yourself is I don't owe anyone anything other than my truth and my integrity. When you can capture that without fear of being abandoned, rejected, and disappointed, you will change how things look for you. I hope this short, brief, powerhouse message on self awareness and integrity will have you grabbing your pencils and writing down where you are and where the misalignments are in your life, how you're willing to change it, beginning your work with a therapist. And in this instance, with self awareness and integrity, you could possibly work with a life coach that would be willing to help you dig deeper into your whys. But it's important for you to begin doing the work to move away from people pleasing and self acceptance, self awareness, and integrity. Until next time on Authentically Peculiar with Marcia, take good care.